Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard unit review video. Today you might notice something a little different. I've not put up the photo of the unit that I will be reviewing, and that's because we're going to be doing sort of a home finish here, guys. You see, the last few units I'm going to be covering are units that aren't under the Astral Militarum sort of section in the Index Imperium number 2, but they do have the Astral Militarum keyword, which means they can be used in Imperial Guard armies. So I chose this picture because obviously it shows all the different sort of aspects of an Imperial army sort of around a table at one point. So you've got like priests, and you've got like tech priests, and inquisitive stuff. And it's all in one place, you see. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over units like the priest, the tech priest, and a few other bits and ones like that. I've got a list of them here, so I'll be able to remember which ones I'm looking at. Oh yeah, Psykas, of course. So, and we're gonna blast through a bit of a home stretch, because I don't know about you guys, but I've been making literally like, it feels like I've been making endless unit reviews, and I just want to get a home straight, and then we can get onto some more interesting shit that we can talk about. Okay? So, first off, the first one of these sort of hidden away units is the Tech Priest Engine Seer. So the Tech Priest Engine Seer is found under the Adeptus Mechanicus section, specifically under the Cult Mechanicus sub-faction, and he's pretty good. So his stats are movement 6, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 4+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 4, attack 2, leadership 8, 3+ save. So whilst he has the same movement and weapon skill, ballistic skill that he used to have, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he has received an additional strength and additional toughness, and he's got 4 wounds, and where he used to have like 1 wound, if I remember correctly, and he's got 2 attacks base. So that's pretty good. He's retained the same leadership, which is surprising for a lot of characters, and he's got a 3+ save, kept that. He is an elite's choice still, and he comes with an Omnisarian axe, a las pistol, and a servo arm. The Omnisarian axe is interesting. It's like a beefed up power axe. So it's strength +1, AP -2, standard power axe. But then it's 2 damage per hit, which is alright. I mean, you're not really going to be taking him for close combat, simply because, I mean, look at him, he's only hitting on a 4+, but still. And then he's got the servo arm, which is like a shitty power fist. Well, not shitty, it's an interesting power fist. It's strength ×2, so that means he's strength 8, which is actually kind of interesting. But it's only AP -2, whereas a normal power fist is AP -3. But it does do a flat D3, a flat 3 damage, where a power fist does D3. So you've got less AP, but you've got more reliable damage. But of course, you must subtract 1 to hit from when using the using the servo arm. So you're hitting on a 5+. So it's like I said, this guy is not built for combat. He has the ability, Canticles of the Omnisar, so that is kind of important to remember, because I don't know much about Canticles, but essentially I believe, if I read it out now, all units with this ability gain a bonus during the battle depending on a Canticle of the Omnisar currently being canted. At the start of each battle round, pick which Canticle of the Omnisar from the table below is in effect for the duration of the battle round. The same Canticle may not be used twice during the same battle. Alternatively, you can randomly determine which canticle on a D6, and then you can have the same one turn up twice. So, just a word of note, even if you're taking, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, even if you're taking like a random tech priest in your army, or maybe not a random one, you know, a couple of tech priests in your Astral Militarum army, don't forget he still can use these canticles. So the first one is your reroll fail morale tests, won't be relevant to him, he's a single character. Second one is Litany of the Electromancer. Roll a d6 for each enemy within 1 inch of any affected units. On a 6, this is for d3 mortal wounds. Kind of interesting if you find your tech priest locked in combat. Not a bad choice. You get Canter the Remorseless Fist. You can reroll any failed hit rolls for one affected unit. Of one, sorry. That's alright, because he struggles to hit anyway. Shroud's Psalm, sorry, gets cover, even if it's not in cover, so that could be a 2+ save. Invocation of Machine Might, +1 strength. Benediction of the Omnissiah, reroll 1s for the shooting phase. So they're not great for a single model, but they're not shit and they're free, so why wouldn't you use them? You know? Anyway. So he has that. He has Bionics, which means he's got a 6+ invuln save. Nice. And Master of Machines. At the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a single friendly Forge World or Astra Militarum vehicle within 3 inches. That model regains D3 lost wounds. Just regains them. There's no save. You just regain them. A model may not be the target of Master Machine's ability more than once per turn, regardless of the source. So that's really cool, because that's better than what it used to be. You used to have to take servitors to improve your repair roll. Now you're guaranteed 1 whole point back. At least 1 whole point. You could get 3 whole points back. Or I should say wounds back. That's actually really good and a legitimate reason to take him. So overall, Telepathic Assault is a tasty little bundle, but it all comes down to the price cost. Bearing in mind he was 40 points in the past. He is now 40 points, but you have to pay for the axe, which is 0, but you have to pay for the server arm, which is 12 points. So in total it's 52 points. So he is 12 points. He is 12 points more than he used to be, but I would say he is easily 12 points more awesome. So, once again, you will not be penalised for taking a tech boost engine seer in your army. Moving on, I believe that is the only. I'm looking now. I believe that is the only Astra Militarum unit you can take in the Adeptus Mechanicus section. Servitors are no longer Astra Militarum. Nothing in the Secretary section is Astra Militarum. Obviously nothing in Imperial Knights. They're a completely separate force. So we get to the Adeptus Ministorum. Now there are 2 units in here in the Adeptus Ministorum that we can take. We can actually take Uriah Jacobus, which is the priest special character. He now is Astra Militarum, which is cool. And we could take Ministorum priests. Now, so we'll go through Uriah Jacobus first. He is the super priest, basically. He hits on a 3+ ballistic skill 3 for both weapon skill, ballistic skill. He's got strength 3, toughness 3. He's got 5 wounds, which is tasty. And he has attacks 4, leadership 8. He's only got a 6+ save, but armor save. But he has a Rosarius, so he has a 4+ invuln save. Standard. He comes with a Redeemer, a Chainsword, Frag and Crack Grenades. So the Redeemer, I believe, is some kind of pimped out shotgun. It's a 24-inch range, Assault 2, Strength 4, AP -1 shotgun. Any attacks with a wound roll of 6 plus his weapon have damage 2 instead of 1. So it's kind of cool. It's not amazing, but it's kind of cool. Chainsword, obviously, know what that does. Basically, this guy's rocking 5 attacks, and Frag and Crack Grenades, we know what they do. Now, he has Shield of Faith. Special rule. Shield of Faith means he has a 6+ invuln, but considering he has a Rosarius, he has a 4+ invuln, so whatever. In addition, units with the Shield of Faith can attempt to deny 1 psychic power in each enemy psychic phase in the same manner as the Psyker. However, if they do so, instead of rolling 2d6, they only roll a single d6. Psychic power is resisted if the roll is greater than the result of the psychic test that manifested the power. So, not that great on this model, simply because 1d6 is very, very rarely going to be enough to stop an enemy power. And the 6+ invuln is, like, as we said. So, carrying on. Banner of Sanctity. Friendly Adeptus Ministorum and Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of Uriah Jacobus add 1 to their leadership. Okay. And the last one, which is very, very important, is War Hymns. Now, I'm going to read this out very carefully to you. Okay. War Hymns. You can add 1 to the attack characteristic of all friendly Adeptus Ministorum infantry and Astra Militarum infantry units that are within 6 inches of any friendly Ministorum priest. I believe this Okay, interesting. Then you look at, so that specifically says units, which means I would interpret this that when you have Uriah Jacobus on the battlefield, any of your units with infantry within 6 of him get +1 attack. However, going down to the Ministorum Priest, they also have the War Hymn special rule, but that specifically says all models in friendly units that are within 6 inches. Okay, so that one I believe it's only models. So the key thing is the reason I've talked about the difference here is if you take Uriah Jacobus, it's all units. If you take a normal priest, it's all models. So that's what you're paying the difference in, okay? Because there is a big points difference which we'll go over in a moment. Now, a regular Ministorum priest is pretty much the same as Uriah Jacobus, but just worse. So weapon skill with skill 4+ instead. They've only got 4 wounds, they've only got 3 attacks, and they've only got leadership 7. They've still got a Rosaris. I should say both models come with Zealot, which means you can reroll failed hit units in close combat in the first turn, but whatever, they're not really designed for close combat. Ministorum Priest, however, may take an Eviscerator, an Autogun, a Plasma Gun, or a Shotgun, or an item from the melee weapon or range weapons lists. Don't know which list. I'm guessing it means both Ministorum, Adeptus Ministorum, and Astra Militarum. Anyway, the Autogun is the same as a Lasgun. We know what Plasma Guns do, we know what Shotguns do. The Eviscerator is Strength ×2, AP -4, D3, but -1 to hit. So if you'll only be hitting on 5s, but anything you do hit, you'll probably seriously fuck it up. So that's cool. But the big thing is that we can take Eviscerators on priests again, which I know a lot of people were upset about because Eviscerators were always a traditional weapon for priests, and in our last codex we couldn't take them. Well, now they're back. So that's it, guys. The difference in price is Uriah Jacobus is a flat 100 points, which is quite expensive. Whereas, excuse me, I'm just finding the correct points cost of the thing. The Adeptus Ministorum, the Ministorum Priest is only 35 points. So, yeah. So Uriah Jacobus is kind of like, he is 100 points. He is very good. Okay, this would be my argument. This is what I'm going to close on. If you are planning on making multiple conscript blobs, because I know a lot of people talk about close combat conscripts. If you're planning on taking multiple conscript blobs, like 2 to 3 conscript blobs, and you want to make them pimping good in close combat, take Uriah Jacobus. If you want to make units like Bulgrins better at close combat, where the whole model, it just being models thing won't be an issue, save your points and take a Ministorum Priest, okay? Because a Ministorum Priest will easily be able to affect a whole, 3-man, 6-man unit of Bulgrins, but they won't be able to affect 2 to 3 units of conscripts. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I should have probably said what the price of an Eviscerator is, because some people will be interested in that. Price of an Eviscerator is 22 points, so it's pretty expensive. But the choice is now there for you guys. 57 points gets you an Eviscerator Priest. Make your mind up whether you think that's worth it or not. One thing I'd say about priests, don't forget their own rule affects them, so they'll have +1 attack themselves. So that's 4 attacks for a priest. Because they don't affect your morale anymore, unlike commissars, they're not like they must be protected at all costs. Priests can kind of be quite good throwaway characters. I can see a priest with an Eviscerator being quite good as just a dude that you just throw in against, like a fucking, maybe a rhino or something. You just want to chop a rhino up. I think it'd be quite good at that. Something like that. Okay? They're definitely, like Jar and Kell, they're pretty much throwaway characters. Now, moving on. I don't believe there's anything else. I'm looking through. This is the battle stuff. No. Okay, so now we have 3 more units to cover, and we are on to the Adeptus Astra Telepathia. So, this is a big one, guys, but they're all pretty similar. So, there are 3 units here, the Primaris Psyker, the Word Vein Psyker, and the Astropath. And they have their own psychic powers. Now, the psychic powers that we have are Terrifying Visions, Gaze of the Emperor, and Psychic Barrier. Terrifying Visions is a walk charge value of 7. If manifested, choose an enemy unit within 18 inches. It's not the nearest. No, sorry, I was reading this. If I was reading something about the Psykana discipline, no, it's fine. You can just pick your powers. It's fine. Sorry. Going back to Terrifying Visions, choose an enemy unit within 18 inches. That unit subtracts 2 from its leadership until the start of your next turn. Actually, quite powerful. Actually, very, very powerful. Let's say you kill a couple of Space Marines with a 5-man squad. Now, normally, that won't be enough to realistically affect them battle shock wise, okay? Because they're leadership 7, so killing 2 means they'd have to get a 6 to fuck it up. However, if you cast this power on them, that means on a 4, 5, or 6, they're going to start losing models, and if they roll a 6, they'll lose the remaining 3 guys in that 5-man unit. So this power, Terrifying Visions, actually deceptively quite powerful. Not obviously powerful, but deceptively powerful. Gaze of the Emperor. This is an interesting one. This is a way that you can actually snipe enemy characters. Gaze of the Emperor has a walk charge value of 6, so it's quite cheap. If manifested, draw a straight line 2d6 long directly away from the Psyker. Roll a dice for each model the centre of the line passes over. On a 4+, that model's unit suffers a mortal wound. So, in theory, you could draw a line, and you could draw that line through an enemy unit and onto like the character behind and do a mortal wound to them. So it's not overly powerful, but it is quite good. Also, if someone's like throwing a huge blob of orcs at you, you can use this to like mortal wound like 3 or 4 of the orcs to death. So it's very good at either trying to snipe out characters which are quite close to the front lines, or which is difficult because on average you're going to get a distance of 7, or it's quite good for munching a blob of guys. Now the most important psychic power is Psychic Barrier. Very simple. Warp charge 6. Target a unit within 12 inches. +1 to its saving throw. Hello. 2+ save. Lehman Russes. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Very powerful. Now, the different units are basically like the Primaris and the Astropath and the Word Vein. They're basically just shitter versions of they're just different power levels of Psyker essentially. So the Primaris is the most expensive one. He is good. He's 3+3+ for his hitting, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 4, attacks 3, leadership 8, 5+ save. He comes with a last pistol 4 stave. 4 stave is interesting. It's strength +2, AP -1, D3 damage. And we still have the it's for your own good rule. I think apparently it's only the Primaris which has it's for your own good. If this model is slain and resolved to paralyze the warp whilst within 6 inches of a friendly commissar, they execute before anything untoward can happen. The power they were attempting still fails, but the units within 6 inches of them do not suffer D3 mortal wounds. So that's quite good. It just means you're not going to fuck yourself over if your power goes wonky. Word Vein Psykers, a bit shit from what I can tell. Apparently they're just terrible. Weapon skill 5+, physical skill 4+, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 7, 6+ save. The unit contains 3 Word Vein Psykers. It may contain up to additional 6. They come with a las pistol and a Word Vein stave. I think it's Word Vein. It's probably Weird Vein. I don't care. We'll say Weird Vein. Weird sounds better. Weird Vein stave. The Weird Vein stave shit. It's literally terrible. It's just +1 strength, whatever. Choir of Minds. Each time you take a psychic test or deny the witch test for this unit, roll 1d6 instead of 2d6. You can add 1 to the psychic test for this unit if it has 3 or more models, or 2 if it has 6 or more models. So basically, they're not very good at casting psychic powers, so I don't know why you'd ever take them. Because I don't think points cost wise they're great either. If I just have a look at this now, Word Vein Psychers, 8 points per model. Does not include war gear. Well, at least the war gear is free. So they're 8 points per model, and you'd have to take 3 of them minimum, so that's 24 points, which is the same price as a Primaris Psyker, without war gear, admittedly, but they're worse in every way. Yeah, not great. Also, one thing I want to say is they, because they're a unit of Psychers, when they suffer perils of the warp, it's only when the last model of the unit dies do units around them suffer perils from the warp. So, for example, if you have a unit of 6 and you suffer perils of the warp, and only 2 guys get sucked into the warp, no one else takes any damage. Just the unit takes damage, okay? Now, the last one to cover is... So, Word Vein Psychers are terrible. They've always been shit. I don't know why Games Workshop still insists on putting them in. But, yeah, they're just wank, and I wouldn't bother with them. Now, Astropath. The Astropath is... Oh, I should say the Primaris Psychers is a HQ choice, and the Word Vein and the Astropath are elite choices. Now, the Astropath, a lot of people are saying he's really good, and I want to find out why. Because I think he's okay, but I don't know why everyone's saying he's fucking balls to the wall amazing. Now, he's weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill 6+, so he really can't hit shit. He's strength 3, toughness 3, but he has 3 wounds, 1 attack, leadership 6. He's only got a 6+ save. Okay. Now he comes with a las pistol and a telepathic stave. Telepathic stave is not great. It's strength +1, damage D3. And it just comes with the stave, and you may replace the stave with the las pistol. Huh. That's very interesting, and I'll tell you why. I didn't notice that the first time I read that. I'll come back to that in a second. Abilities. Astral Divination. At the start of your shooting phase, pick an enemy within 18 inches of this model. For the duration of the phase, the unit you picked gains no bonus to their saving throw for being in cover when it is targeted by attacks made by friendly Astral Minotaur units within 6 inches of this model. Hey, this is where Fire My Target went. You know the old order, Fire My Target, which ignored cover? Yeah, they got rid of it and instead gave it to the Astropath. That's really cool. I really like that rule. Because I knew you could take an Astropath for 15 points. That is well worth it. Because it's a bubble effect, isn't it? That is very worth it. Is it units? Friendly Ashmo Time units. Yeah, cool. Now it also has the ability Telepathic Assault. Each time you take a psychic test for this unit, when it attempts to manifest Smite, roll 1d6 instead of 2d6. So that's not good. However, unlike the Word Vein Psychers, where the Choir of Minds just fucks their entire ability to cast psychic powers, that only fucks the Astropath when he's trying to cast Smite. Which means an Astropath is a really cheap way of getting off Psychic Barrier. 15 points, because it's 7 points, I think, or 7 points for the stave, you see. I think it's 6 points for the stave. So that would make the Astropath... Oops, sorry, my headset's fallen off. That would make the Astropath a 21-point model. But I would actually never, ever take that stave. I would always swap the stave for the las pistol, which is free, which means you have a 15-point model. And that's a 15-point model which gives you ignores cover on a lot of units, and also gives you psychic barrier for the cheap. Yeah, I can definitely see an Astropath. I'd say 2 or 3 Astropaths are definitely 2. I would say the sweet spot's going to be 2 Astropaths. That's 30 points. That gives you Gaze of the Emperor and Psychic Barrier and Terrifying Vision. If you take 3, you can cast each power once, and you can pretty much give most of your army ignores cover, all for the low price of 45 points. That's very fucking good. That's very fucking good indeed. Yeah, now just going to have a quick look, see if there's anything else which I've missed. Sister Silence, I don't believe they've got anything to do with the Astral Militarum. Assassins, I don't believe they've got anything specifically to do with Astral Militarum. Inquisitors, no, don't see it. Just blasting through this quickly, guys, just doing a check. I don't want to miss anything. Adeptus Custodes, I'm very certain they're not going to have the keyword Astral Militarum. No, so that is it, guys. We have officially, I believe, unless I have missed a unit, which I hope I haven't, we have now officially covered every unit in Index Imperium 2 which has the Astral Militarum keyword. So, guys, that is it. Just to very quickly summarise what we've covered today. Tech Priest Engine Seers are good. They're a little pricey at 52 points, but that ability to automatically heal D3 wounds is nice. And don't forget about the Canticles. Probably won't be that useful, but hey, if they're free and you got them, might as well use them. Priests are so-so. I think Priests combo nicely with small, hard-hitting units like Bulgrins and Chimeras. But if you want to do a full-on conscript infantry wave charge with 2 or 3 units, you're probably going to want to upscale your price to Uriah Jacobus and do some conga lining shenanigans so that you can get all 3 units to get +1 attack. And then Psykers. Yeah, Psykers. Primaire Psykers are expensive. They're 28 points basic, and then you've got to pay for the staff, which I believe is 15 points. So that is pretty expensive. Word Veins are terrible. Astropaths are awesome, simply because you can get them 15 points. I did not notice that the first time, guys. I will admit, I did not notice for the first time you could just swap your stave out for a las pistol. I'd do that every single time. I would do that every time, because the stave is shit, and it's more important for you to save those points. You're no point in paying 6 points than you're not going to use. Okay, guys. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's going to have been slightly rushed, but we'll be going for that sort of home straight finish. Top off all the units. And now we can start talking about some more interesting things. I can bring to you some more after-action battle reports. I know a lot of you guys have been saying to me, please do more proper battle reports. I have put feelers out to people. And I believe I will be able to get some battle reports together. It's probably going to average at sort of like 1 every 2 weeks, 1 a month, you know, but yeah, the battle reports are going to be kind of like a treat rather than something that I'm going to do all the time. They will exist, but they're not going to be done non-stop. But they will be there, you know, there will be more battle reports, what you can take away from this. And then there'll be plenty, I can do plenty of after action reports, because I play, you know, Warhammer down at the Warhammer Club every Tuesday, so I can bring you after action reports, little 5-10 minute videos just covering what I've learned from my battles, trying out different armies. Yeah, but we're definitely, guys, unit reviews are going to be over for a while. I'm going to have a little bit of a break before I go to the Forge World stuff, just because I want to do something more interesting. And then once we've done some tactics and some fluff, maybe list reviews will be coming back, guys. But yeah, more interesting videos will be coming. But overall, I hope you've enjoyed the unit reviews that I've done so far. And as always, guys, leave a comment if you've had any experiences with the units that we've covered today, any helpful hints you want to pass on to your fellow commanders. And as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.